I'll have scores around the league for you at the half. But it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL has us about 20 miles south of downtown L.A. at Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson. Straight ahead, we've got a good one on tap here between the Los Angeles Rams and their Southern California rivals, the Los Angeles Chargers. Hi, everybody. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, we take a look at this Charger club entering play here. They come in off a loss in the opener last week. That one was on the road. Now they get their first taste here of home cooking.
And what they're hoping to do is feed off the energy of the home crowd. Great tailgate, great fan.
Opener on the road, and they get a second road game here.
Yeah, the schedule makers didn't really do them any favors, but if they can win here and get to 2-0 on the road, they could be well set up for the rest of the year.
The children will groan. It's the final weekend of summer, but we've got the NFL, and we're underway on EA Sports. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here's the Charger offense making their way out. And they'll be led out by their quarterback, the former Louisville Cardinal, Teddy Bridgewater.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the one interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets. And bottom line, how do they get a win?
Bridgewater now looking to throw on first. And this is caught. First catch for Keenan Allen.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
Throwing again on second down. Bridgewater out to his left. He'll try and right away, he lost the football. And now the Rams have got it, going the other way. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. And now time is called as we've got an injured Charger down there on the field. We'll step aside and come back to Carson after this.
Come on, set. 70, Indy.
Man, that's trash. That's trash.
Following the fumble recovery, Eason. It's caught at the 10. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. Now a chance to make that big play really hurt. It's first and goal just outside the 5.
Hey, orbit.
Operating from the gun, Eason dumping it off for Johnson. And he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
And back at the 8 now. 3rd and goal.
Hey, check Mike 57. Mike 57. Double. 57.
From the gun, Eason. And it's caught for a Rams touchdown by Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks, his second touchdown on the season, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Chargers getting set to go. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over. The other team takes it down and scores.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And they won't fare much better here as he maybe gets back to the line. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. They'll look to throw. Looking here for Smith downfield. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. I mean, look, they're on the road, so getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
Throwing on first down. Eason, he's going to rifle one, and that's caught inside the 30. And he does take it in for the touchdown, but a flag on the field, and I don't think this is going to stand.
Yeah, don't put the points on the board just yet.
Brutal, so take away the long touchdown.
It's a cruel game sometimes, partner.
Here we go. 8 reads. Go.
Operating from the gun. Eason. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The former number 3 pick, Joey Bosa, bringing the lumber that time.
There's a lot of discussion in the offseason about him having a big year and getting to the quarterback. They held him without a sack in week 1, but how about here? Finally gets his first one of the season.
In the offseason, said he changed his diet, leaner, feels so good this year. Excited to see what type of a season he can have. And able to find a little space, he gets this up over the 15 to the 16.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
An extra cornerback now in the game for the Chargers here on 3rd.
57.
Off play action. Eason, he'll rifle this one deep right side. He's got a man, complete. One heck of a 3rd down conversion, 33 yards.
Now that one hurts defensively. They force him into 3rd and long, had the advantage, yet they give up the big play right there.
Yeah, their offense was already warming up on the sideline, ready to come out. So much for that 3 and out. On 1st and 10, Eason. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and ended up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. Looking to throw. Eason. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Derwin James with a pick, and he'll take it across midfield and down to the 48-yard line. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape, he's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
No one there to help out downfield, but no problem. Scrambling for 22 and a first.
On that play, as you saw the route start to develop downfield, I got the sense that maybe the run would set up for him, and he took full advantage of it and got a big gain on a busted play.
They try and run on first down, but to no avail. Tackled for a 2-yard loss in the backfield.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
They're going to need some therapy after this. Check.
And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up third down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. So on fourth down, on comes the Charger kicker, Michael Badgley. From the left hash, this from 46. Badgley's kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So they do get 3 points, but that's now 3 drives with only the 3 points. Not a ratio that's going to win you many ball games.
Not at all, Brandon. And think about it this way. We all know payoff is the key, right? And wouldn't we love to have the concession on every T-shirt that's been printed in football that says finish on it? Because that's the mantra everywhere. Got to be able to finish drives, put points on the board.
Here again comes the captain of this offense, leading his crew back out there now. He'll look to shake off the interception on the opening drive. He should at least be comforted that it resulted in 3, not 6.
And if I were him, I would be the guy all the way out on the field greeting my defense down, saying thanks a lot. You held him to a field goal after I turned it over. That's a big defensive stand for them. He needs to go out now and make up for what he did on the first drive.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
An extra defensive back on the field for the Chargers now on third down.
Hey, wahoo!
Let's get off the field.
From the gun, Eason. He's letting it fly for Cooks. And that will be incomplete.
Well, you've got a receiver here who's got 1 touchdown already in this first quarter, and they were trying to double his pleasure there, wanting to continue to go to the guys already gotten into the end zone. But good coverage and make sure that this time it fell incomplete.
A big kick that time, 52 yards. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. The Charger offense set to take over in this battle for L.A. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. And at least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Here's a 2nd and 7. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. That one broken up by David Long on the defensive end.
I think that's a big-time play there because the slant route is really hard to cover because the timing is so quick. But able to see it, diagnose it, and get to the football, that's why he was able to bat it away.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. They'll set up to throw. On the screen, this is Eckler. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a 1st down.
So here are the Rams to take over. They've got the lead right now, and last week they were able to defeat the Atlanta Falcons here as they try to make it 2 victories in a row. So good field position for the Rams as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. A carry by Henderson to start the drive. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Let him know.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Eason. This pass complete to Higgins. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That one covers 24 yards. It's a 1st down. So from Charger territory now, here's a 1st and 10 down at the 33. Henderson now on 1st and 10. Tackled that time by Sidney Jones.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
To throw on 2nd down. Eason. Johnson's got it complete. And he's going to take this one in for a Rams touchdown. Duke Johnson, his 1st touchdown of the new season. And the Rams tack on to their advantage.
And that's another route that defenders would vote to take out of the game.
The wheel route?
Oh, without a doubt. You're just trying to move everybody in one direction. And whether it's a running back or another receiver, as they zip out on the sideline, you've got a problem on your hands.
Yeah, well, the defenders hate it there. It happened, and it resulted in a touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Getting set to go again here on offense, Keenan Allen marches back onto the field. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? 2nd quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us. But sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Now Gordon. Able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Give him 15 yards on that one and a Charger 1st down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Draw play. It's Eckler. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12. Back to throw. It's caught. Smith. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down. Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for L.A. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And he's looked pretty good. Does have the 1 interception, but 2 touchdown passes so far. Your analysis.
They'll take the offset. When you're talking about throwing 2 touchdown passes, no one wants to see an interception thrown, but those things happen in the course of a ball game and over the course of a season. But throwing 2 touchdown passes, that's why the team has an advantage. That's what they're looking for more of.
He'll be hoping to make it a 3-to-1 ratio here in the second quarter. 2nd and 9 now. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Joey Bosa able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And got his man complete. The 20, 10, touchdown L.A. Brandon Cooks, 85 yards. And the Rams tack on to their advantage. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Extra point right down the middle. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here now a look at Melvin Gordon. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try and loosen things up. Get the defense to react to other people, other plays, but don't forget about it. That's your horse. You know, Secretariat lost twice in his career.
So educational. That's very true, kids. Look it up. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. This is Gordon. And he puts his head down and gets up to the 42 for a gain of about 6.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this second week of the regular season. That throw into the arms of Allen. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. 17 yards for the Chargers there as they've got themselves a 1st down.
I know you're trying not to scoreboard watch, but you only got 3 points. You're kind of hoping that type of play there gives you some positive momentum going into the half.
They need to do something to get more than that 3 number. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Taylor Rapp with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
Looking for more there on 1st down, but this throw downfield, incomplete.
And you just know when that play call came in, their eyes lit up, because anytime you get a chance to take a big shot downfield, that's a lot of fun, and they missed an opportunity.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20.
Mike 57, Mike 57.
Let's go, D.
Check 52. Please dribble.
Off the play fake. Eason. He'll buy some time right. Now he's going to let it go deep right sideline. This secondary has been roasted in this first half, but they get a measure of revenge there. Nice play on the deep ball.
Yeah, they're going to need a few more plays like that in order to get their confidence fully back, but that's one step in the proper direction.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Operating from the gun, Eason, and that is incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incomplete.
Chargers coming hard, and they block it. It's picked up, and this is a live ball, remember. And all the way in for a Charger touchdown. As his guys are in for 6, and the Chargers are able to close the gap just a bit.
Partners, you well know, every block punt wasn't necessarily a called block. Sometimes the guy just finds his way back there. Doesn't matter. The play happens, and that one turned into 6 points because they handled it so well after the block.
Following the touchdown, Badgley out there to kick it away. This is taken at the 3. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
He'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. On first down, Eason. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down. Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. 2nd down, it's Henderson. He'll be tackled shy of the 35. Pretty shifty footwork, but didn't buy him much. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws, somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey. Absolutely love the flexibility of these punters. Their leg drive, able to get it way up in the air, and that allows their punt team to get down there and down it inside the 10 because they've had some time.
And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. It's a gain of 2, and it will be the final act of this first half of play. So we have reached halftime here in an 11-point contest. As we send you to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach?
Okay, Brandon, we'll get you back to you and Charles in a bit, but first it's time for a trip around the NFL following an eventful opening weekend. Let's see what's happening in Week 2. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Rams going to get the football first here, and they look to build on their lead as the second half gets started. This one fielded at the 5. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And getting our first update now from Nashville. And the Chiefs have jumped out to an early lead in their ball game. That'll be a game to monitor as we go along. Now the Rams offense, they work their way back on the field. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Joey Bosa getting him once again, his third sack of the afternoon.
They need to stop to get back into this game, and here's one right to start the third quarter.
Yeah, anytime you go into the lockers with that 2-3 score deficit, you're right. You need that stop, get the football back, and they've done just that.
Series to series, play to play.
49, guys. Mike, 49. I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back to you.
Back to throw. Eason, they'll rifle this one deep right side. And that's caught inside the 30. A huge play that time for the Rams. 55 yards.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. And, partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver to be just a little bit better than the defensive back when it's one-on-one and the ball's in the air like that.
So that changes things in a big way. Now from all the way down inside the 30, here's 1st and 10. And he'll get it down inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
I like the call. Inside the red zone, running the toss. Why? They want to get to the edges. They want to see if guys who don't normally make a lot of tackles are willing to actually do that. That usually means the guy's in the cornerback position.
And I see an extra defensive back on the field. Little surprise here on 3rd and 1. They run once more with Henderson. And he will have the first down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Two of their 3 red zone trips so far, they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. From the gun, Eason, nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Sack, baby! Sack, baby!
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further.
I can't believe they even let you play. Back. He's coming. Double up.
Hey, Steve 6. Steve Griffin.
Looking to throw. Eason. And his throw is going to be incomplete. Back-to-back great plays defensively. You get the sack on 1st and goal. A great job in coverage there. All of a sudden, they're looking at 3rd and goal from further back than when they started.
And the really good play callers look ahead and down and distance sequence. Now he's got to backtrack a little bit and go maybe off his play sheet to try and dial something up here.
Go.
Check Mike 57.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Eason. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the third quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
Let's go.
Now we'll look at the Chargers offense. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss, and now it's 3rd down. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. And that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a first down there.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route.
Watch the run. Watch the run.
They'll look to throw here on first down. Complete. Hunter Henry with a grab. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. On 2nd down, it's Gordon. Takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with it overall.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I think you saw the same thing that I did there, partner. Remember, he's their backup quarterback, so the last thing they need is to lose another one right here on the sack. Looks like he's going to be okay, though.
Yeah, he looked like he was favoring something in the left leg. Appears to be fine now, but you're right. That O-line, they got to protect it. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. And the Rams getting set to go now. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20.
49, guys. Mike, 49. You can't block me.
Throwing again. Eason. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And picked up by the Chargers. And they are going to score on the fumble return. Touchdown, L.A. This defense, Charles, they needed some type of a spark to help get them back in this game. I think they just got their spark.
No doubt about it. You know that's all. They discussed, how can we get ourselves moving again? How can we get our team going? This definitely qualifies.
And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. A solid first half for him, and so far a good start to the second half.
And I'm going to try not to go overboard with praise here, but I can't help it. He is playing so well. Really accurate with the ball, finding guys open downfield, and finding the end zone 3 times. That'll help offset the 1 interception.
Absolutely. Just that one pick with the 3 touchdowns so far. Off the bootleg, Eason. And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. It's a gain of 34. They lulled them to sleep there, so to speak. That was all set up by the running game, wasn't it?
Another example of what all offensive coordinators tell us. When the running game's operating, it really opens up the playbook, and that's when they hit them with the play action. And you can see the defenders rushing towards the line of scrimmage, then scrambling back, trying to cover. Couldn't get there in time.
Well scripted. They had the big running play, now the big passing play. It's a gain of 11 and a first down, L.A. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on second down. Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. On second down now, it's Henderson. And he's going to take this one in for a Rams touchdown. Darrell Henderson, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Rams tack on to their advantage. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how we're going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Chargers offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline, because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. It'll go as a gain of 11 and a Charger first. This quarterback now 8 of 15 through the air, but it's 1st and 10 here. He's going to look deep down the field, and that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
He'll drop to throw. He's got Smith here. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Rams will be backed up deep to begin the drive as they take over 1st and 10. The Rams offense now, they get set and head back onto the field. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs to keep up with your theme there, playing keep away.
And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And picked up by the Chargers. And it won't count for 6. He's brought down, but inside the 5. 1st and goal at the 4-yard line.
Partner, that one looked like it was over. I mean, they had control, had the football, and the defense had to make a play in order to keep them in the game. That's exactly what they did.
And now that door jump. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. Yannick Ngakoue in there for the sack, and it's an important one from a personal standpoint as that is sack number 100 in what has certainly been a terrific career to this point. On 2nd down, they'll run with Gordon. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down.
Defense.
Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
So now then, the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
One man in the backfield, that's Gordon, 2nd and goal. They get it to him running left. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have, and what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, the big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak. Not letting blockers get to them, allowing them to run to the football and keep that running game bottled up.
The decision to tuck and run gets him 3, but that's not enough. Now it's 4th. The field goal doesn't help. They're going to go for the 6 here on 4th and goal. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. They'll roll him out right. John Harbaugh not afraid to go for it this time. Doesn't work out. And it'll be a turnover on downs. So they really needed points here in a 2-score game. Could not come away with anything there on 4th.
And while we know they're a little bit discouraged here, they can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now really hoping for a turnover. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Go!
To throw from his end zone. Eason, he's going to float this one deep right side. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Well, partner, I think the defensive fellas got the memo, and they decided to cover him on that play.
Yeah, he's already up over 100 yards in this game. They tried a deep shot, couldn't get it.
Yeah, when you've had that much success, finally, someone said, let's try and put a stop to it and put people on him.
Hey, let's get this. Hey, check Mike 57. Drop deep. 57's Mike 57. It's our time.
Hey, Echo.
Mike's 57's Mike.
To throw from his end zone. Eason, he's going to air one out. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. A big play there for L.A. And even 40 yards. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles. It certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they have the right coverage, they've still dented them, and that's been a real issue for them during this game.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. It's a gain of 11 and a first down, L.A. So from Charger territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 47. Now Henderson. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield, but that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
57, Mike, 57. Brilliant. 57 for Mike.
To throw on 3rd down, Eason. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
They had enough yards for the first down, but a clutch hit right there defensively.